We come to you live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. with social media and marketing, digital tips, tricks, and trends. And this month, it's all about the who, what, why, when, where of social media, how to kind of tell whether you're on the right platform. That was last week. This week, I'm going to tell you how often you need to post, which some of you might find shocking. We do this a lot, so I'm familiar with how often to post, but yeah, some of it might be shocking. So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, and I'm going to cover all of the platforms. And we're going to talk about how often, and then I believe next week I'm going to talk to you about when, what time, and what day of the week will get you the best results, the biggest bang for your buck. Because if you are like me as a small business owner, ain't nobody got time for that. So you want to schedule and get in and get out as quickly as possible so you can get on to generating new leads and new sales for your business. That being said, okay, so first things first, Facebook, it's still the biggest platform out there. And I kind of tried to do these in descending order. So ideally for a Facebook page, you want to post, the minimum is 3 times per week. Ideal is once per day, 5 to 6 days per week. And I have pages that want to post multiple times daily. That is probably not the best idea. HubSpot, which is a major authority in all things digital marketing, found that pages with under 10,000 fans experienced a 50% drop in engagement per post if they posted more than once a day. And I can absolutely testify to this. We recently had a client who had a new employee who wanted to post right over us consistently. And if the first post got 100 likes, the second post would get 50, the third post would get 20-ish, and then the last one would get 7. It's ridiculous. The numbers, they're killer. Now, there are clients that have an extremely engaged audience that can afford to post multiple times a day, especially on high traffic days like Friday and Saturday, but you know who you are. If that's not you, if your audience isn't super engaged and you're posting for brand awareness or lead generation 3 to 5 times a week, that's your sweet spot. Okay, I'm going to save Instagram because it's the weird one. So we're going to skip Instagram and go directly to Pinterest. For Pinterest, ideally is 3 per day, and that's minimum, 10 to 12 posts per day, 5 days a week is ideal. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, yeah, it kind of is a lot. Your minimum for Pinterest, and a lot of this information came directly from Pinterest. They decided about a year ago that they're going to give more weight to fresh pins versus repins, and they're going to give the biggest weight to the first 5 pins of the day. What does that mean to you? It means you need to pin your original content from your blog or from Instagram as your first 3 to 5 pins every day. Now, if you can only do 3 pins a day, 3 is great. Ideally, you want about 60 pins, 50 to 60 pins per week, which averages to 10 to 12 pins per day. And if you think about it, 10 pins per day is a lot. 3 to 5 original, about 5 are repins. It sounds like more than it really is, especially if you schedule this stuff through Tailwind. So don't stress out. If you can only do the minimum, 3 is the way to go. LinkedIn, really and truly 2 to 3 posts per week is ideal. You don't want to, you can post, let me back up the truck just a little bit. 2 to 3 posts is minimum. Ideal would be 3 to 5 posts. And that's because LinkedIn is a business-to-business platform. So you are going to only want to post while you are during business hours, Monday through Friday. So and you're posting not only as yourself, but as your business. So if you can post for yourself 3 times a week and for your business page 3 times a week, that's great. Minimum would be twice. Maximum would be 5 each. And that is a lot of content. So just heads up, lots of content when you're doing one for you and one for your business page, and they're different and you're trying to do it 3 to 5 times a week. That's a lot. So, you know, and speaking of a lot, let's look at Twitter. The minimum for Twitter is 1 per day. That is like throwing a pebble in a lake and expecting the people on the other side to see the splash. It's not going to happen. Ideally, okay. Minimum is 1. Ideal is 3 to 10 per day. There are companies that post 100 times a day on Twitter. That is mind-blowing to me. Who has time for that? You wouldn't even have time to go to the bathroom. Seriously, that is a ton of content. So unless you're stream of consciousness tweeting everything that crosses your mind, how in the world would you, or tweeting a blog 1 line at a time, who does that? Twitter, unless that's your best audience, unless that's your best platform, it's very time consuming. So ideally 1 a day would be great. I keep saying ideal. Minimum 1 a day would be great. 3 a day is ideal, but if you can swing one is good. That will work. Our audience is not big on Twitter. The only main reason we tweet is to make sure that we still have a presence, because Google really likes Twitter and LinkedIn. So you really need to be on there as a company because it makes you easier to find. So if you do want to have an active campaign, 3 times a day is the way to go. Okay, YouTube's a little less judgy. They only want to see you once a week. Now, can you do 2 or 3 videos a week? Absolutely, you can. But YouTube likes consistency. So you don't want to post 2 or 3 posts a week for 2 weeks and then stop for a month. They don't like that. They want to, if you're going to post on Tuesdays at 2 p.m., they want it to always be Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Always, always, always. Like when we go live Wednesdays at 10 a.m., always, always. It's creates consistency, and it allows Google to send people to where you are going to be at the time you're going to be there. They really do like consistency. And YouTube is a unique animal. The formula for YouTube video is very different than the formula for other platforms, and that's something you need to be aware of. It's not like Facebook. You can't, YouTube allows you to explore more than Facebook does. So for people to find you and be able to really get into your brand, you have to really engage them with keywords. Seriously. People who watch you on Facebook come to Facebook to watch you. People who watch you on YouTube discover you. So if you want to be discovered, consistently post once a week and use those keywords. They're critical. TikTok, for those of you guys who have wandered over into TikTok territory. Hey, Justina, how are you? Yeah, TikTok, TikTok is so new, there's no official stats on it yet, which is kind of mind-blowing to me. But the experts and influencers on TikTok have an opinion. And of course, those people who have grown, that's the best opinion to get. They are saying that 1 video per day is the minimum, the absolute minimum. So if you're going to do it, you need to do 1 a day at least 5 times a week. Ideally, hold on to your hat, is 3 times a day. So if you can post content 3 times a day on TikTok, that's killer. We are experimenting with that right now for the next, we're in the middle of our 30-day experiment where we're putting 3 reels and 3 TikToks every day. There's a lot of content, folks. So if that is something you're not used to, you're going to have a hit list of content ideas, which we can help you with. But wow, that's a lot of video. They're not long videos, but some of them are very detailed, especially if you have to change clothes or you're changing point of view or you're changing characters. And if you just get in front of your camera with what you're going to record, and make your life harder than it should be. Just my personal opinion. Okay, blogging. Yeah, I said blogging. Yeah, I meant blogging. It's still important to your business. It's one of the best ways people can find you. It's great for your SEO. 1 blog per month is your absolute bare minimum. Ideal would be 1 a week. If you have the time and energy and inclination, 2 a week is great, but 1 a week is ideal. And I can tell you from personal experience, and our SEO expert, who I love, he will also tell you 50 is the magic number. Once you have 50 blog posts, that's when people start to find you through your keywords on Google. And he is absolutely right. We started having people call, and I was a little surprised. How did you find me? Oh, my blog. Oh, okay, sounds good to me. And if you do it and we streamline as much as possible. So when I do content for these lives, we then transcribe these videos into the blog posts so that I can get the biggest bang for my buck out of the content that we have. There are 5 images that go into each blog so that we can pin those on Pinterest and use those on Instagram or use them as quotes somewhere else. So we're generating our own content, and then we can turn around and pin those pins back to from Instagram to Pinterest. So you see, it makes a circle. 1 really solid piece of content can generate a ton of content for other platforms, which is why I love blogging so much. Okay, now let me go back to Instagram. Instagram has changed the game by allowing you to post not only a regular post, but IGTV, stories, reels. It is a lot of content. So let me talk about minimums, and then we're going to talk about ideals. Okay, ideally, minimum. You want a minimum of 3 posts per week on Instagram. 1 post per day is ideal. And I would say 5 to 6 days a week. Nobody needs to hear from you 7 days a week. For the love of Pete, schedule some downtime. Everybody needs that. Stories, same thing. 3 times per week is minimum. 1 per day is ideal. Instagram waits stories. So if you have multiple stories in a row, it will put them back at the front of the line until the person who's viewing them sees them all. So if you have 3 or 4 together and they only see the first 2 and they come out of Instagram and go back, you're still going to be at the head of the line until they look at all of your stories, which is very interesting to me, which is why people a lot of times will do multiple stories, or they'll go live in stories. So it creates multiple stories so that they can kind of push their way to the front of the line. Reels, again, a minimum really is 1 per day. It's just like TikTok. If you want to get found, you have to invest the time and the energy to post on the daily. What's ideal is 1. What would be great would be 2 to 3 a day. It's a lot of content. And IGTV, I would tell you once a week if you still want to do that. Not a lot of traction on IGTV. We get much better traction on our reels and stories than we do on IGTV. But because we're a social media company, I still kind of need to be present on all the platforms so I can inform you about that stuff. So we still do it about once a week. And that's it. That's all there is. So you guys, that is how often you should post, which is a lot. So most people can only be active on 1 to 2 platforms. Hey, Madison. Yeah, video, baby. It's the most powerful tool that we have. And if you haven't started integrating video into your marketing plan, you absolutely have to do it. Get over yourself and get in front of a camera. It's a lot of content if you're going to try to be on all the platforms. You don't have to be on all the platforms. That's crazy. How often, hey, can you repeat how often on Facebook? Can you repeat content on Facebook? Absolutely. You can repeat normally every 90 days unless it's seasonal. Like, for example, I wouldn't post Christmas recipes in February. That's just weird. I might do a Christmas in July series where I can repost, which would be a pretty clever way to get your material back out there. And you can share the same information from Instagram to Facebook. Just don't do it on the same day, and don't push from one platform to the other. Huge pet peeve of mine, because honey, those hashtags don't translate. You're wearing your audience out. So please don't do that. But yes, you can absolutely repost. If it worked the first time, it's going to work the second time. And that's not just my opinion. That's been proven statistically. If you have an awesome post and it got 30 likes the first time, it will almost always get the same number of likes the second time, which kind of blows my mind. So if you have awesome content from last Christmas, reuse it for this Christmas. If you have an awesome post that went viral 6 months ago, you can absolutely reuse it. 90 days is the minimum. I would say more like 4 months would be better. 6 months would be best. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. And seriously, you guys, Susan, she owns B&A Warehouse, which is a great event venue, and she has built-in content because people are really into food. And people are into event space. So anytime she has an event, if she can do a before and after video, even if it's just a minute long, that is some killer content for them. And seriously, people love food. So you can literally take a video of them pouring one of their best, my favorite dish of all time is their praline sauce, their Havarti and praline. Love it. So if they're getting it ready and they have the block of cheese, you can videotape pouring the sauce over. It doesn't even have to be 10 seconds long, and people will watch it over and over and over, which is killer. She says, B&A owns me. No, I totally feel that in my soul. And oh, guys, Christmas is coming. It is the season. If you have not been accosted by Christmas on TikTok and Pinterest, get ready, it's coming for you. Seriously. And we're going to talk about, always in October, I talk about 'tis the season. Pins will soar in October, November, December. So if you're ever going to get involved in Pinterest, now's the time to do it, because you're going to get some of your best numbers of the whole year. And my retailers, my venue havers, my event planners, you guys are about to explode for the season, because that's what happens. And since everybody has been on lockdown and we currently are not on lockdown, I think we're going to see a big push towards in-person meetings and parties this year. So get ready. It is definitely coming for you. That is it for me today. Of course, we will recap all of this information in the blog post, which is how I roll. So you guys can, because there are some people who want to watch video and some people who want to read it. Weirdly, I like to read a lot of my information if I'm trying to learn. I only watch the video if I have to see exactly how to do it. Otherwise, I read, which I guess is kind of backwards, but that's just me. Next week, we're going to talk about when is the best time to post? When is the best day to post? What gets you your biggest bang for your buck? And then the next, oh, thank you, Susan. We love you too. We just love BNA. Seriously, it's one of my favorite things. And I look forward to Christmas just so I can order praline and Havarti sauce is my favorite thing ever. So if you guys haven't tried catering from there, you must, especially for if you're having a party or a big event this season. It's you will not regret it at all. I ordered catering for a baby shower from them not too long ago. Oh, so good, so incredibly good. And of course, Haley tells me I didn't even know what I wanted until Haley told me, and she was absolutely right. Best suggestions ever. So you guys let me know if there's anything you need. You're always welcome to leave a comment or send me a direct message if you have any questions or anything you need. And I will be back next week. We're going to get through this how, what, when, why. We're going to get through some of these basics so that you guys have the best information you can for moving forward to post on your own pages. Until next week, thanks, Susan. I appreciate you very much. Until next week, you guys, I'm Karen Taradas with Social U, and I'm here to help. Thanks.